Hi guys, it's Ken Foody. I want to say thanks so much for taking the time to kind of learn a bit more about me. So what I'm actually doing right now is just a short little kind of intro blurb, and then I'm going to cut away to take a recording that I did a couple days ago. I'm kind of ticked at myself because I was trying to set up, I had some friends who are filmmakers who came to my house a couple months ago, and they were helping me walk around the house, find a couple different spots to use for kind of backgrounds. This is obviously one of them. And so I was trying to recreate the same setting they had. So the other day I was setting up my camera and everything else, and was getting ready to hit record just so I could kind of see. I wanted to take it over to the computer and take a look at it. So I hit record and just kind of blurbed off the top of my head. And what came out was awesome. But I was just wearing a regular t-shirt. I hadn't shaved. My hair was crazy and all over the place. I wasn't mic'd up like I am now. And so, I mean, I'm in a room with 20-something foot ceilings. And so it's kind of big and cavernous, so there's a lot of echo. You can still hear me really well. But I'm an audio engineer, have been for a long time, massive. I do lots of media production, lots of video production, actor, director, producer. So little technical things like that drive me nuts. And I've literally spent the last 3 days watching that video over and over and over again and going, gosh, I'm just never going to be able to do it that well again. It just came out, it just came out perfect. And it was, it's still fairly lengthy, but you're pretty much going to get everything you need to get about who I am in about 20 minutes time, period. So it's an awful lot of information. I talk really fast, just in general I do. And that one, I just was on it. I don't know what it was. I was on one. So I'm doing this short little intro to warn you that I'm going to cut away in a second, go over to that one, and then you're going to hear the audio is going to be so much different. I'm going to look like a scruffmeister, but forgive me, the content is so valuable that I just didn't think I'd be able to do it again, even as an actor, without killing myself to try and do it right. So thanks again for checking me out, and I hope you get everything that you need to out of this short little video.
1, 0.
Hi everybody, I'm Ken Foody, and I'm going to share in this really short little video the information that I hope is what you're looking for to discover kind of who I am a little bit, very little bit, what it is that I do, and most importantly, what, if all the stars align the right way, we might be able to do for you. So you'll see that there's a number of different services that we have to offer, a number of different arrangements, consulting, mentoring, coaching, individual campaign specific stuff. And you've got to wonder kind of who I am and what is it that makes me stand out over everybody else, and why would you consider working, or at least reaching out to me, seeing if you might be a good fit for our portfolio of clients. So it's pretty simple, it's pretty basic. I'm obsessed with growing businesses. I'm obsessed with growing the right businesses, excuse me. I'm obsessed with finding and meeting people who themselves have great voice, great passion, great desire to contribute and to serve, and then whose products and services are ones that, in my opinion, are significant and deserve to be championed. I've been a business consultant for 23 years. I spent 7 years in Silicon Valley. I owned a recruiting firm in Silicon Valley specifically so that I could dive into hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of companies in a really short period of time to dig in and see how they do what they do, what do I like, what don't I like, what are the patterns that I recognize in them. In high school, I was kind of a loner, didn't really get along with a lot of people in California, from New York, New Jersey, so I was the young, skinny, arrogant East Coast Italian who, moved out to the beach in California, so didn't really get along with them very well. And instead, I found myself at San Francisco Airport, spending hours and hours and hours in the international terminal at San Francisco Airport. This was long before TSA. But I would spend hours just sitting there quietly, people watching, totally enamored. I should mention, I've been an actor pretty much all my life, so I'm just obsessed by people. I love people, I love how they work, figuring out how they work. And for years, literally years and years and years, or most of my high school years, once I got a car anyway, I would just drive up, sit there, and sit in the terminal for hours, not say a word, and just watch people. watch how they were dressed, watch how they walked, watch how they carried themselves, watch how they talked to the person that's next to them, watch how they talked on their phones, or I guess some of them had phones at that time, the big brick phones and pagers and stuff. This is like early 90s. And I was intrigued by how people worked. What was it that made them thrive? What was it that drove them? What was it that mattered to them? What made them happy? What served their lives? What made them tick? And then, totally unexpectedly, out of the blue, in my mid-20s, 26 years old, I had an opportunity to go back to school and actually study theater professionally. So I was given a scholarship to 2 different universities, which both have kind of nationally ranked programs, Utah Valley University and Brigham Young University. And in fact, BYU's program, the music dance theater program I got in there, miraculously, is one of the top 3 in the whole country. And the very first day, my very first acting class, first words out of the teacher's mouth was, "So, you're in an acting class. Do you want to be an actor? How do you know if you really do want to be an actor?" Well, I've been a professional actor for years, and I think I've kind of got it broken down. I said, if you want to be an actor, truly want to be, it means you have to be a student of life. Every part of life has to interest you. Every part of life has to be intriguing and just inquisitive. You have to love studying the art of life and what makes people tick. And the more that you enjoy that and the more that you dig in, the better of an actor you're going to be. So you're going to be asked to play a role at some point in time where you're picked for a person who fits your age range or whatever, but everything about that character or that person is the complete and total opposite of you. They've had opportunities that you've never had. They haven't had opportunities you've had. They've made every opposite decision of what you have. And you have to find something in that person that connects with you, that you can connect with, to portray them in a way that's believable, to make people buy into it. And most of the time, if it's a significant character, the character's there for a reason. It's there to tell a story. It's there to teach a lesson or demonstrate a moral of some kind. So you gotta do it right for people to believe you. I was like, yep, sign me up. That's it. That's what I want to do. I love it. So I've been an actor all my life. I've also been a professional trained actor. I've also been pretty much top salesman any place I've ever had a sales position. And really not too many sales positions, but a lot of it is contract stuff. I don't really work well for people. I work really well with people, not really well for people. But when I was a kid, when I was younger, I jump into pretty much any sales position and blow the doors off anybody else. There's a, ice to Eskimos thing that kind of stands out. So that combination of things, plus the fact that that I've also been enamored with business since I was 8. I've owned my first company when I was 15. Actually, I started my first company when I was 8, but I owned my first official out-facing company when I was 15. I've been a business consultant since I was 17 because I was also technically inclined. I was a double major, computer science, business, marketing, administration. So I've been a small business consultant my whole life. I've known that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to grow companies all my life. And now I am 40 years old, as you can tell, by the wonderful, not as much gray as turning white hair on my head. And in the last 12 years, I've been in the online world. And I know just about everybody in the industry. I've spent probably $250,000 studying at their feet. And that's all kind of brought me to where I am today, which is pretty much, supremely confident. There's not anybody anywhere who does anything at any scale and any level that we as a team cannot help improve. We can't help improve. We can help improve their sales. We can improve their margins. We can improve their the return customers. We can increase customers. We can find more efficiencies, more productivity, find hidden pockets of profit, as my friend Jeff Moore likes to call them, sitting inside the business everywhere. And for the most part, what we do best is help people find more clients who pay them more money more often. That's why you see it on my logos. You see it, all the time coming out of my mouth. In the last 2 years, I found my calling. I guess is the way to put it. I finally found, after, at 37, 38 years old, I'd spent my whole career never really being able to tell people what I do for a living in a way that adequately expresses it. It's always missing something. You know, if you've ever had that situation, what do you do for a living? I do a lot of stuff, you know. And then I had an opportunity to go and amazingly be handpicked by Frank Kern, Ryan Dice, Perry Belcher, Roland Frazier. Roland's a really good friend of mine, and he suggested to them when they opened their high-end sales funnel program in September of 2013, they sold the heck out of it and found themselves very quickly spending all day on the phone working with businesses and clients instead of being able to run their companies. And they needed somebody else, in their words, a very high-end strategist who could come in, take over for them, literally, replace them, you know, handle everything, do all the strategy, handle all the clients, and make them look good. And in Ryan's words, Roland tells us you're the guy. So incredibly humbling, incredibly awesome opportunity. Had so much fun, you know, 7 months of just 100-hour weeks, you know. Since the beginning of 2014, I and my team have either created or contributed to over almost 300 sales funnels at this point. I don't know you're going to be anybody else on the planet that can say that. And it's in literally dozens and dozens and dozens of industries. I mean, I don't know, maybe 100 different industries at this point. So not only is there almost nothing we haven't seen, there's almost no industry we haven't worked with, and that's just in the last 2 years. I got 20-something years of experience before that, you know, has all led to this. So at the end of the day, what that means is I can look at anybody's business, anybody's campaign, whether it be a single solitary offer, whether it be a sales funnel. If you don't know what a sales funnel is, it's essentially a strategic sequence of offers placed in front of a paid flow of traffic that is created as automated as you can possibly make it, but has an awful lot of sophistication in the tools, strategies, and tactics that you use to automate that process to create a maximum ROI from the dollars you spend on the advertisement. And then also, in addition to just making sales, because that's great, the thing that I do differently than, or talk about at least differently than everybody else, is that the most important value of a really well-done sales funnel is how much more powerfully than anything else out there you can grab a prospect, you can grab a new, perfectly fit member of what would be your tribe or your community. You can grab their attention, you can set your hooks in them, and you can indoctrinate them so quickly with who you are, what you do, why you do it, and find those people who, as Simon Sinek puts it, believe what you believe. I'm a huge Simon Sinek fan. And if you've never seen any of his TED Talks, you should stop this right now, drop everything else, and go watch them. They'll change the way you look at life and the way you look at your business. One of the things that he says is, your job is not to do business with all of those who need what you have to offer. Your job is to do business with those who believe what you believe. He uses Apple as a great example of that. And so that's what I believe wholeheartedly. So same thing, I can help anybody. There's not anybody who doesn't need what I have to offer. What I'm looking for is those who believe what I believe. What I believe is our time and effort, as limited as it is, needs to be focused on working with those who have exceptional products, services, and voices, and whose product, services, voices, offerings, we call them, whose offerings deserve to be heard and deserve to stand out. That the value they provide is unique and is significant in the industry and market that they're playing around in. I don't really care how much people offer us to be paid. I have to want to work. And when I do, I don't sleep. I'm up all night. I'm up at the crack of dawn in the morning, and I just love the projects. I love working on new, fresh stuff. That's why one of the offers that we make is kind of a dip the toe in the water process that takes people a little bit longer to kind of ramp up with us, is an offer experts offer, a VSL offer specifically. And it's pretty simple. It's, take whatever you've got, give us the best version of the video that you're using to sell your stuff, and if we decide we're willing to jump in and play the game, then we'll create one of our own to put right next to yours, and you just split test them on 2 different pages. And if ours outperforms yours, then you pay us a percentage of the extra. That's it, nothing else. If ours does 100,000 and yours does $90,000, all we do is get a small percentage of the 10. That's it. And I make that offer because of all the things that I can do, the thing I love doing the most, the thing that really, really just drives me, I mean, really gets me on fire, is the moment that I get to work on offers. And preferably something I've never seen before or something I've never worked on before. Just show it to me right now in the moment. Give me that, maybe it's the actor in me that loves the improv. You know, I love improvisation. So the improvisational creativity, you know, getting all the cylinders firing all at the same time, and laser focused on one person's offer with all of my background and all of my experience from all the different facets of my life, and laser focusing them on one person's ability to contact another person, make them an offer that's valuable to them. That's where I think I'm the best in the world at. I know there are other people. I know Perry Belcher is somebody who I will always say is the greatest living offer creator on earth. And Frank Kern, obviously. I mean, those two guys, Jess, I work with those two guys who have been my heroes and now are kind of my friends. It's, you know, an incredible opportunity of a lifetime. And Ryan and Roland the same way. I respect those guys just as much. But Perry and Frank are pretty much recognized as two of the best offer creators on earth. And I have no hesitation of throwing my hat in the ring with those two guys. I feel like I can speak to people just as well. I can get them to take the action they want to just as well. And if you talk to anybody who's ever done it with me, they'll tell you the same thing. So, so depending on what it is that you do, depending on how important it is and how emotionally invested you are in it, you want someone that has the expertise to help you get it out. But you also want someone who will be as invested or as close to as invested in your mission and your purpose as you are. I think that's also the thing that kind of makes me stand out. I've had a phrase I've said for, I don't know, the last 10 years of my life, which is, you know, I don't work with everybody. I have to be careful about who I spend time with because I get attached very quickly. And so this phrase I've been using is pretty much, you know, I've said it a gazillion times. If I'm involved, I'm invested. If you do get me and you get my attention on what you're doing, you get all of it. And I'm a pretty massively productive, high-powered laser, pretty much, is the best way to describe it. And so I look for opportunities to work with those companies and those people that do it. I also believe in being free, but making an awful lot of money at the exact same time. And the way that we accomplish that is by always being your favorite check to write. So we charge money up front, of course we do. You know, our time is worth it. But the first goal is always, what's the fastest way we can get that back? Whatever the amount is that we charge, depending on the program or the involvement or the engagement you get with us, it requires a deposit, always requires a deposit. That way, you know, we get rid of all the tire kickers, we get rid of the people who, you know, just want to pick our brains and get access to our expertise without respecting us enough to return value for value. So in all of our situations, we require that, but it's also my first priority to find how quickly we can turn around and get that money right back. I want to get to zero immediately, and I want everything from that point to be bonus, and then I want to be paid on the bonus. So like I always say, our goal is to be your favorite check to write every month forever. But I also want those checks to be bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So I love our business model. I feel like after everything I've ever seen in every company I've ever worked with, it's the model that fits me the best. It's the one that fits the kind of clients that I want the best and the ones who I want to do this work with the best. So pretty much you get, you know, one of the best offer creators in the world, one of the top sales funnel experts in the world, someone who, if they choose to work with you, is going to be as close to as emotionally invested in your work and effort as you are, and but is also extremely sensitive to all the aspects of running the business, and in particular what it takes to write the check. Because I want checks, big checks, lots of big checks, massive amounts of big checks, but I want all those checks to be written with a big fat smile on your face. So we always start by trying to find the first opportunity to make that money back. Yeah. I guess that's about it. You know, that's kind of just totally off the cuff, but if that interests you and you're interested in taking a look further and you don't know who I am already, happy to have a conversation. If you do, if someone else has told you, go sign up with Ken. Most of the people that I've worked with will tell you, go sign up with Ken, pay whatever he tells you, pay more than what he tells you, and just do what he says. Most people will tell you that if they work with us. So if you've heard that from somebody else and you're ready to do it, great, let's do it. If you want to know a little bit more, fill out some information, fill out an application, give us a deposit, we'll get on the phone, take a look at what you got, and see if it's something that interests. And if it does, then we'll just rock out together. If not, hey, I'll have made a new friend. You know, I guarantee you we'll give you some value, spend some time on the phone sharing some things with you that are even just hey, thanks for hanging out, and here's some things, stuff I would do right away. And we'll make sure that you leave with more than you came with. Thank you so much for your time. I wish you the best of luck in whatever it is that you do. Hope we get a chance to meet, and we'll talk with you soon.